Hello, welcome to my video for functional training, which is about myofascial lines in the body. I'm going to be talking about the superficial front line, the superficial back line, the lateral line, the spiral line, and also the functional lines of the body, which are in the front and the back. For the first line, I'd like to talk about the superficial front line, which connects the entire anterior surface from the top of the feet to the side of the skull. The postural function of the superficial front line is to balance the superficial back line and to provide tensile support from the top, and lifts parts of the skeleton that extend forward from the gravity line, which include the pubis, the ribcage, and the face. The movement function of the superior front line is to create flexion of the trunk, extension of the knee, and dorsiflexion of the foot. In the superficial back line, it connects the entire posterior surface from the bottom to the top in two lines or two pieces. The postural function of the superficial back line is to support the body in extension to prevent flexion or curling over in flexion. The movement function of the superficial back line is to create extension and hyperextension, except at the knees and ankle where flexion and plantar flexion occur. So in the lateral line, it controls the frontal plane stability, as well as mediating the left and the right side. For the postural function, it creates a balance from the front and the back, or the anterior and posterior side, as well as from the medial and lateral side to the body, so left and right. It also stabilizes the trunk and the legs. So in movement function, it creates a lateral bend in the body. So maybe lateral flexion of the trunk, eversion at the foot, abduction at the hip. And it also functions as a brake during rotational movements. So with the spiral line, it creates a double helix on the anterior and posterior side of the body to help maintain balance across all of the planes. It also determines efficient knee tracking in walking and is functionally adaptable because someone can use their right arm more or their left leg more while they're walking, so the body will create a compensation in the kinetic chain. And for the movement function, it creates and mediates oblique spirals and rotations in the body, as well as stabilizes the trunk and legs to prevent rotational collapse during eccentric and isometric contractions. So in our last part, we're going to talk about the functional lines, which are in the front and the back, and create an X on the anterior and posterior surfaces of the trunk. They're used primarily during athletic activity to stabilize and counterbalance and power movements, I guess, in a contralateral balance, such as a baseball pitch, where the pitcher stands on their left leg and winds back to pitch with their right arm. The postural function of the back and front lines is to involve superficial tissues. So they're used in day-to-day activity a lot, so they're unlikely to have stiffness, and they also have strong postural stabilization outside of standing positions, such as if you are leaning on one leg or doing a yoga movement or position. The movement function of the functional lines is to give extra power and precision by lengthening the lever arm by the connection of the contralateral counterbalance. such as in walking with your shoulder and your hip. But I like the baseball example because it makes sense. Well, thank you for watching my video.